In adherence to my father's dying wish, I brought home the son of his comrade from the orphanage, only to discover that the online comments suggested I had erred in my choice. The boy cradled in my arms is the antagonist thus. I requested the director to guide me in searching for the protagonist. Two boys, one, the protagonist, exudes warmth and gentility, while the other, the antagonist, is unruly and defiant. As an adult, one does not make choices naturally. I desire both. 01. I stood before the dilapidated gates of the orphanage, raindrops cascading from the edge of my umbrella, dampening my newly purchased high-heeled shoes. The screen of my phone still glimmered with my father's final message. Be grateful, go fetch Uncle Fu's son from the orphanage in the southern part of the city, named Fu Mingchen. This was my father's last wish. Miss Gu, this is Fu Mingchen, the director announced, leading a tall, lanky boy towards me. The boy appeared to be around 11 or 12 years old, with slightly curly black hair and eyes resembling two obsidian stones, cold and distant. He donned a faded plaid shirt, his hands tucked into his pockets, emanating an unmistakable aura of do not approach. I crouched down to meet his gaze. Mingchen, I am Gu. Your father was a comrade of my father's. From this day forth, you may live with me. A smirk tugged at the corners of the boy's mouth. Another one here to play the philanthropist, are we? As I prepared to retort, a line of translucent text floated before me. What the hell? This isn't the protagonist. This is the antagonist, Fu Mingyuan. I've adopted the wrong person. I blinked and the text vanished. Since a month ago, I had occasionally encountered such peculiar text, akin to live stream comments. Initially, I thought my sanity was in question until these messages accurately predicted the outcomes of several business negotiations. Do you go by Fu Mingyuan? I ventured to inquire. The boy's gaze flickered momentarily. Fu Mingchen. Didn't the director inform you? Another line of commentary scrolled by. He's lying. The protagonist is currently working in the laundry room. This antagonist is quite cunning. I rose to my feet and smiled at the director. May I see the other children? Particularly the one working in the laundry room. The director's expression faltered for a moment. Yes, of course. In the laundry room, a smaller boy was struggling to wring out a bed sheet. He possessed doe-like eyes, instinctively retreating a half-step upon seeing us. This is Fu Mingchen, the director introduced. The comments erupted in a frenzy. Yes, yes, yes. This is the true protagonist. Rich lady, please save the child. The antagonist is plotting something. As I observed the two boys, who bore a striking resemblance to one another, a realization dawned upon me. They were brothers. My father had only mentioned fetching Uncle Fu's son, without specifying which one. I want both of them, I declared. The dean's jaw nearly dropped to the floor. Miss Gu, this is against the regulations. Donating an entire new dormitory. I interrupted her. And let's add a library. 10 minutes later, I emerged from the orphanage, holding the hand of a boy. Fu Mingyuan shook off my grasp, exclaiming, Who wants to leave with you? Meanwhile, Fu Mingchen timidly inquired, Sister, can I really leave this place? The comments erupted. Scheduled for a battleground. The wealthy lady is quite skilled. Can we have both? I rubbed my temples and opened the car door. Get in, children. From today onward, you have a home. The Gu family villa is nestled on the hillside at the outskirts of the city, sprawling over 3,000 square meters, complete with a swimming pool and a private cinema. Uncle Lin, the butler, stood at the entrance, his eyes widening behind his glasses as he saw me alight with the two boys. Miss, this is Uncle Lin. These are Fu Mingchen and Fu Mingyuan, who will be living here from now on. Prepare 2 adjacent bedrooms and contact St. John's School for their enrollment. Fu Mingyuan let out a whistle. Wow, you're really rich. Fu Mingchen, on the other hand, bowed politely. I'm sorry for the trouble. The comments appeared at the perfect moment. Black and white, thrilling. I love the little wolf dog Mingyuan. Baby Chun, come here for a hug. During dinner, the differences between the two became even more pronounced. Fu Mingchen meticulously used his knife and fork, eating cautiously, while Fu Mingyuan dug into the steak with his hands, intentionally smearing grease on the expensive tablecloth. Mingyuan, I set down my glass of red wine. If you continue this way, you'll be eating vegetables tomorrow. He shot me a challenging glance. What, do you find me uncouth? Then send me back. The comments flooded in. Ah, the little wolf dog is so exciting. Don't back down, rich lady. Tame him. I chuckled, dream on. Now that I've brought you out, there's no going back. Uncle Lin, get him some chopsticks. Fu Mingyuan was taken aback, clearly unprepared for my response. At 10 o'clock that night, I brought a warm glass of milk to check on them. Fu Mingchen's room was as tidy as if no one had ever lived there. He was seated at his desk, previewing the textbooks I had purchased for him. But Fu Mingyuan's room, goodness, how had it turned into a disaster zone in just 2 hours? Milk. I placed the cup on the only clean spot on his bedside table. A housekeeper will come to clean tomorrow, but thereafter, you must maintain some order. Fu Mingyuan lay on his bed, engrossed in his phone, ignoring my words. The comments read, "The villain needs a lesson in love. Go for it, rich lady. Don't indulge him." I swiftly snatched his phone away. Sleep by 10:30. Breakfast is at 7 tomorrow. If you're late, I'll confiscate your game console. You. He jumped up, attempting to reclaim it, but I held the phone high. Suddenly noticing his lock screen, a blurred photo of two little boys with a man in military uniform. My heart softened. Is this your father? Fu Mingyuan's expression darkened instantly. What does it have to do with you? He snatched the phone back and pushed me out the door, slamming it shut with a thud. The comment sighed. Oh no, my heart aches. Boys with stories are the most captivating. Wait, the upstairs tastes uniquely complex. He has only 12. I stood in the hallway, hearing muffled sobs from within. The door next door creaked open and Fu Mingchen peeked out. Sister, Mingyuan is actually very afraid of being alone. I crouched down. You two are brothers, right? Fu Mingchen nodded. Same father, different mothers. After his mother passed away, my father took me home, and Mingyuan has always felt I took his father away. So that was it. The comments resumed. Family feuds in the wealthy. The rich lady must mend their hearts. The following morning at breakfast, Fu Mingyuan indeed arrived late. I locked the game console in the safe right in front of him. On what grounds? He slammed his hand on the table in anger. Because I am your guardian. I spread jam leisurely on my toast. Want to go back? Behave yourself. Fu Mingchen whispered. Mingyuan quickly apologized. Shut up. Hypocrite. Fu Mingyuan shouted. Do you think being nice to her will let you stay here forever? The dining room fell into a heavy silence. Fu Mingchen's eyes were red. I set down my napkin. Fu Mingyuan, come with me to the study. The comments buzzed. Is she going to lecture him? Anticipating the rich lady educating the little wolf dog. In the study, Fu Mingyuan wore a defiant expression. I retrieved an envelope from the drawer. This is your father's legacy. He sent it to my father before his last mission, saying that if he didn't return, he hoped we could take care of his sons. I paused. He referred to his sons, plural. Fu Mingyuan's fingers trembled slightly. Your father never forgot you. I pushed the envelope toward him. Inside were letters for you and all the medals he had earned. Fu Mingyuan stared at the envelope as if it were a ticking bomb. Suddenly, he bolted from the study. The comments erupted. He's breaking down. My heart aches. When I chased after him, he had already vanished. Fu Mingchen stood in the hallway, holding another envelope. Is this for me? I nodded. Your father loved you both very much. Tears fell onto the carpet as Fu Mingchen asked, then why did he leave us? I embraced the trembling little figure. Sometimes, heroes have no choice. The comments echoed. Oh no, I'm crying. The rich lady is so gentle. That night, I found Fu Mingyuan in the piano room. He sat before the piano, fingers poised above the keys, yet he didn't press down. Can you play? I leaned against the door frame. He withdrew his hand. No. You're lying. I heard you humming Wedding in a Dream last night. Fu Mingyuan reacted like a cat whose tail had been stepped on. You were eavesdropping? The house isn't that soundproof. I sat beside him. Play for me? I won tea. Why not? His voice dropped. My mother said I look like my father when I play. I gently pressed the middle key. Then it'll look even more like him. Fu Mingyuan glared at me, then suddenly slammed both hands down on the keys, producing a cacophonous clash. Then, his fingers began to dance, and Chopin's revolutionary etude engulfed the room like a storm. The comments exploded. Wow. The villain is actually a genius. I'm dead at that speed. I watched him in astonishment. This was no ordinary child's skill. This was sheer talent. As the final note fell, Fu Mingyuan gasped, as if he had just completed a marathon. Did your mother teach you? I asked. He shook his head. Self-taught. After she left, this was all I had. I ruffled his spiky hair. Tomorrow, I'll get you the best piano teacher. Fu Mingyuan's eyes lit up with a brightness I had never seen before. Really? Really, I smiled, but you must promise me not to bully Mingchen anymore. His expression grew cold again. Who told him to? He, like you, is just a child who has lost his parents. I interrupted, and he is your brother. Fu Mingyuan fell silent for a long time, long enough that I thought he wouldn't respond. Finally, he softly murmured, okay. The comments flooded in. Ah, the ice is breaking. The rich lady is so skilled. As I left the piano room, I noticed Fu Mingchen standing in the shadow of the hallway. He held 2 cups of hot cocoa, one for himself and one labeled for Mingyuan. I blinked, pretending not to see, but a part of my heart softened. Perhaps adopting both of them simultaneously was the right decision. 02 When the piano teacher resigned for the third time, I finally realized the gravity of the situation. Miss Gu, I have taught piano for 20 years and have never encountered such students. Teacher Lee adjusted his glasses, his voice trembling. Fu Mingchen can perfectly replicate any complex piece. Yet he plays without emotion. Fu Mingyuan, on the other hand, is entirely the opposite. His technique is rough but filled with passion. They interfere with each other. It's simply unbearable. I handed him a check. Double the lesson fee. Please give it another month. Teacher Lee hesitated for a moment before accepting the check. Just 1 month. After seeing the teacher off, I stood outside the piano room, eavesdropping. Indeed, they had started arguing again. You play like a robot. Fu Mingyuan's voice rang out. At least I don't hit wrong notes, Fu Mingchen calmly retorted. Music isn't math problem. Then it's not noise either. A resounding bang emanated from within the room, reminiscent of a piano bench being overturned. Upon my entrance, I found Fu Mingyuan gripping Fu Mingchen by the collar, while the latter clung tenaciously to his sheet music. The barrage of comments floated by in a timely manner. Let the battle commence. A love-hate relationship. Rich lady, intervene quickly. I cleared my throat lightly. It appears you both are brimming with energy. The two simultaneously released their grips, Fu Mingyuan averting his gaze, while Fu Mingchen busily adjusted his collar. In light of this, I jingled my car keys and declared that we would forego classes today and venture to the amusement park. Fu Mingyuan's head shot up. Really? I narrowed my eyes, stipulating that they must hold hands while participating in all the rides. The comments erupted. Ha. The rich lady is ruthless. A scene of social demise. They're risking it all for the amusement park. The expressions on the boys' faces were a kaleidoscope of emotions. Ultimately, the allure of the amusement park triumphed over their pride. Thus, the most renowned aloof academic duo from St. John's High School were immortalized in a photograph. Hand in hand on a carousel at Disneyland, which quickly became the hottest thread on the campus forum. Sister, can I let go now?
Fu Mingchen whispered.
His ears flushed crimson. Fu Mingyuan gritted his teeth. This is more torturous than an orphanage. I snapped a photo. Just hold on for 5 more minutes. And we can ride the roller coaster. The comments flooded in. Is the rich lady a devil? Elmeo, this is how you deal with unruly kids. This scene could make me laugh for a year. At the apex of the roller coaster, Fu Mingyuan suddenly seized Fu Mingchen's hand. If you're scared, scream, hypocrite. I won T. Fu Mingchen's shriek pierced the air as we plummeted downward. After the ride, Fu Mingyuan leaned against a trash can, retching, while Fu Mingchen offered him a bottle of water. You look terrible. Fu Mingyuan accepted it with a muttered thank you, his voice barely audible, yet I caught it. The comments rejoiced. They're sweetening up. I adore that Sundra villain. On the return journey, both boys succumbed to fatigue and dozed off. Unbeknownst to them, Fu Mingchen's head gradually found its way onto Fu Mingyuan's shoulder. The latter frowned slightly, but made no move to push him away. I quietly adjusted the air conditioning, thinking this tactic might actually work. However, at breakfast the following day, war erupted anew. Who tampered with my homework? Fu Mingchen raised a mathematics assignment, now defaced with doodles. His voice trembling. Fu Mingyuan, chewing on bacon, feigned innocence. Who knows? Perhaps it was a ghost? The comments chimed in. The villain is self-destructing. Is Fu Mingchen about to explode? Fu Mingchen set down his assignment and approached Fu Mingyuan. Just when I thought this gentle boy would endure the provocation, he suddenly splashed orange juice over Fu Mingyuan's head. The cafeteria fell into a stunned silence. The juice trickled down Fu Mingyuan's bangs as he slowly rose, towering over Fu Mingchen by half a head. You've grown bold. Haven to you, good boy. I set down my coffee cup but refrained from intervening immediately. The comments were in a frenzy. Rich lady, intervene. Blood is about to be shed. I've had enough. Fu Mingchen's eyes were red-rimmed. You've been targeting me since day one. If it weren't for my sister taking me in, you would have. What? Continued being the model student at the orphanage? Fu Mingyuan yanked him by the collar. Or, do you wish that only you were taken away? His voice dropped ominously. Fu Mingchen froze. I finally stood up and gently separated the two. Calm down. Then I turned to Fu Mingyuan. Change your clothes and come to the study to find me. In the study, Fu Mingyuan had changed into a clean shirt, his hair still damp. He leaned against the window, exuding an attitude of indifference. Why did you do that? I inquired. I was bored. Be honest. He fell silent for a long while before suddenly saying, Why is he allowed to be so perfect? My heart skipped a beat. The comments fluttered by. Jealousy is an ugly thing. The villain is feeling insecure, sob sob. I said, retrieving an album from the bookshelf. Your father and my father were once like this. Fu Mingyuan's head snapped up. I opened the album and pointed to a yellowed photograph. Two young soldiers with their arms around each other, one serious and composed, the other grinning mischievously. Uncle Fu was notorious for being a rebel, while my father was the model officer. They once had a fierce falling out over a training mishap. And then,
Fu Mingyuan leaned forward instinctively.
Then I turned to the next page, revealing a photo of them standing side by side, receiving medals, having become the best of partners. Your father was responsible for the unexpected, while my father perfected the plans. Fu Mingyuan stared at the photograph, his throat tightening. Dad never mentioned any of this. Because they later had a falling out, I whispered, over your mother. Fu Mingyuan's fingers tightened around the edge of the album. But do you know what your father wrote in his letter at the end? I pressed down on his hand. He hoped that his sons would not repeat the same mistakes. Fu Mingyuan suddenly stood up. I'm going to apologize. The comments erupted. He groaned. The rich lady's method of education is superb. That evening, as I passed by Fu Mingchen's room, I heard soft murmurs within.
I am sorry.
It was Fu Mingyuan's voice. I was wrong about the homework. Fu Mingchen responded. I rewrote it for you. Thank you. Your reasoning is actually more straightforward. I smiled as I left, only to find a crumpled piece of paper at the end of the hallway. It was the defaced assignment. Upon unfolding it, I discovered that the doodles formed an intricate cartoon, a small figure sitting at a piano, surrounded by floating musical notes. The comments flooded in. Oh my, what a divine villain. The hand drawing is incredible, so this is an alternative expression? Thus, I carefully smoothed out the paper and tucked it into the album. On the weekend, I organized a family concert. Fu Mingchen performed Chopin's Winter Wind Etude, his technique impeccable. Fu Mingyuan played Moonlight Sonata, hitting several wrong notes, yet bringing tears to Teacher Li's eyes. It was astonishing to see Teacher Li wiping away tears. They complemented each other as strengths and weaknesses. The comments rejoiced. This is a twin flame situation. I'm swallowing the key. As the concert concluded, the two boys exchanged a rare high five before immediately recoiling in distaste. Before bed, I noticed the lights on in the piano room. Upon peeking inside, I found Fu Mingyuan teaching Fu Mingchen some jazz techniques. This syncopation goes like this. His hand covered Fu Mingchen's. When Fu Mingchen saw me, he quickly withdrew his hand. Sister. We were just continue, I said, closing the door. But remember to sleep before 10:30. Leaning against the door, I overheard Fu Mingyuan say softly, this sister is actually pretty cool. Fu Mingchen's response made my heart swell. She is our sister. The comments erupted in tears. Wah, they're a family now, that hit us hard. The rich lady is worthy. During the day, I busied myself with strategic battles at the company, and in the evenings, I checked the homework of the two little ones. One day, my phone suddenly buzzed. It was a message from Fu Mingchen. Sister, Mingyuan has a fever, 39 degrees. I immediately set aside my work, rushed back to the villa, and dashed to their room. Fu Mingyuan lay curled up in bed, his face flushed. Fu Mingchen was gently wiping his forehead with a damp towel. When did this start? I touched Fu Mingyuan's forehead, alarmed by the heat. He said he felt cold just now. Fu Mingchen's voice trembled. I should have noticed sooner. The comments chimed in. Fu Mingchen is so worried. Brotherly love is real. Don't be afraid. I pressed the call button. Uncle Lin, get the car ready. We're going to the hospital. Fu Mingyuan, half conscious, grasped my wrist. Don't go. We're all here, I assured him, holding his feverish hand with one of mine and embracing the trembling Fu Mingchen with the other. We're a family, remember? Fu Mingyuan weakly nodded before slipping back into unconsciousness. Fu Mingchen's tears finally fell. He'll be okay, right? Of course. I kissed his forehead. I'm here. The comments erupted in a chorus of cries. Wah, this is so heartwarming. The rich lady sister is the best sister. On the way to the hospital, Fu Mingchen held Fu Mingyuan's hand tightly. I watched their bond grow closer each day, for they were brothers. As for work, it could wait until tomorrow. Right now, these two children needed me as their sister. We are a family. 10 years later, Fu Mingchen has blossomed into a refined pianist, while Fu Mingyuan has transformed into the rebellious lead singer of an underground band. After nurturing both the antagonist and the protagonist, they have begun to vie for my affection. As I stand before the mirror in the dressing room, gesturing with a third dress, my phone simultaneously pings with two messages. Fu Mingchen, sister, at 7 tonight. There's a private banquet hosted by a Michelin 3-star chef. I shall send a car to fetch you. The suit is prepared. I hope you will find the royal blue to your liking. Fu Mingyuan. Old woman, come to the underground garage at 8. I'll show you something exhilarating. Wear pants. Leave those frilly skirts behind. I take a deep breath, a vein throbbing on my forehead. After a decade, these two rascals still manage to infuriate me. The comments stream in. Ha ha ha, double chef delight. Chen Chen remains so gentle. Yuan Go's sharp tongue hasn't he changed. 10 years ago, I adopted Fu Mingchen and Fu Mingyuan from the orphanage. Who could have imagined that the once docile Fu Mingchen would evolve into an internationally acclaimed piano prodigy, while the prickly Fu Mingyuan would become the hottest rebellious vocalist in the underground music scene. The only constant has been their damned possessiveness towards me. I replied to Fu Mingchen, royal blue ages me. I have chosen another color. Then to Fu Mingyuan, who are you calling an old woman? Feeling cheeky? Am I really that old at 30? In less than 3 seconds, Fu Mingyuan calls. Gu Jian, you're biased. You attended his piano recital last week. Yet you said you had a headache for my band's debut. I switched to speakerphone and tossed the phone onto the bed, continuing to choose earrings. You opened with kill that old woman. Do you think I'm unaware? There's a brief silence on the other end, followed by Fu Mingyuan's sheepish voice. Artistic expression. Don't take it personally. The comments erupt. Ha ha ha. Public execution. Yuan Go is digging his own grave. Ha. Younger men shouldn't he call you sister? A bit wild. Isn't it? Ultimately, I select a champagne-colored gown, suitable for Fu Mingchen's elegant evening and convenient for Fu Mingyuan's thrilling escapades afterward. A decade of raising them has taught me the art of balance. Uncle Lin hesitates while fastening my necklace. Miss, the two young masters are fiercely competing for your birthday. Another fight? I frown. Not exactly, he stifles a laugh. Young Master Mingchen booked the entire symphony orchestra to rehearse a birthday song, while young Master Mingyuan rented the adjacent hall for a heavy metal rendition. I hold my forehead. The comments flood in. Ha ha ha. The war of the music students. The wealthy matriarch's head is about to explode. Fu Mingchen's car arrives precisely at 7. He personally steps out to open the door for me, clad in an impeccably tailored black suit, his eyes behind gold-rimmed glasses curving into crescent moons. Sister, you look exquisite tonight. Such sweet words. I pinch his cheek. Much better than your brother. Fu Mingchen's smile deepens as he gentlemanly helps me into the car. The comments scream. Chen Chen is too charming. Chen Chen is so well-behaved and adorable. The restaurant is located on the highest floor of the city center, with floor-to-ceiling windows showcasing the city's lights. Fu Mingchen pulls out my chair, and the waiter promptly serves champagne. Do you remember 10 years ago today? Fu Mingchen gently clinks glasses. The day you took us out of the orphanage. My heart softens. The memory of that day is as vivid as yesterday. Fu Mingchen timidly calling me sister, while Fu Mingyuan vehemently declared he wouldn't go with him. Of course, I remember. I smile. You looked like a drenched puppy back then. Just as Fu Mingchen is about to speak, the restaurant suddenly plunges into darkness. In the ensuing silence, a familiar electric guitar riff erupts, followed by Fu Mingyuan's raspy voice. As the lights return, Fu Mingyuan stands atop the dining table in ripped jeans and a studded leather jacket, clutching an electric guitar, his raucous band behind him. The Michelin 3-star restaurant has instantaneously morphed into a rock concert. The comments explode. Wow, Yuan Ge knows how to party. Chen Chen's face is priceless, ha. Fu Mingchen's smile freezes. Fu Mingyuan, are you serious? Fu Mingyuan leaps from the table and throws an arm around my shoulders. Old woman. Now this is the atmosphere a birthday should have. I gaze at the glint of his nose ring and momentarily recall the little boy who played Chopin in the piano room, lost in thought. Fu Mingchen, with a stern expression, presses the service button. Security. There's someone here who's gone too far. I slam my hand on the table, causing the two towering men to shrink back simultaneously. Sit down, both of you. The comments read, the wealthy matriarch has a presence of 2 meters 80. The two rascals retreat in an instant. So funny. Ultimately, the three of us squeeze around one table. Fu Mingchen's foie gras paired with Fu Mingyuan's beer, strange yet harmonious. So, you two have been arguing about this for half a month while I'm cutting my steak? Fu Mingyuan takes a swig of beer. He started it. Booking the entire restaurant is just tacky. Fu Mingchen elegantly wipes his mouth. More refined than some people's garage parties. Hypocrite. Uncultured. I can no longer contain my irritation, rising to deliver a light smack to each of their heads. Enough. You're both in your 20s. Act your age. The comments rejoice. Ha ha ha. Late but necessary education. It's getting lively. The two large men clutch their foreheads, expressions shifting from anger to grievance to suppressed laughter, ultimately bursting into chuckles. Sister, your smacks still sting. Fu Mingchen rubs his forehead. Fu Mingyuan leans closer. Can I get a blow for my pain? I push his face away. Get lost? Yet can't help but smile. In that moment, they seem to revert to the two little boys who once fought for my attention. Fu Mingchen always striving to be the good child to win my favor, while Fu Mingyuan used his rebelliousness to draw my gaze. The comments are touched. Ah. It still feels like back then, three together feels like home. After dinner, Fu Mingyuan insists on taking me to see his surprise. We stand on the rooftop of the building, and he suddenly covers my eyes. Count to 3. 1, 2, 3. The night sky erupts in a dazzling display of fireworks, spelling out happy birthday, sister. I'm left both amused and bewildered, but see that the final firework forms the silhouette of two little boys holding hands with a woman. Fu Mingchen, having appeared by my side, softly says, 10 years ago today, you gave us a home. My eyes well up. Fu Mingyuan awkwardly adds, though you always favor him. I do not. I protest. Last week you wrote a song cursing me. Fu Mingyuan suddenly produces a velvet box. Here, a birthday gift. Inside lies a key. Fu Mingchen, seeing this, pulls out another box. What a coincidence. So do I. 2 keys rest in my palm, one for a seaside villa, the other for a mountain cabin. The comments erupt. Wow. Wealth without limits. The two rascals competing to please their wealthy sister. Fu Mingyuan provocatively glances at his brother. Mine comes with a private beach. Fu Mingchen smiles. Mine has a view of the northern lights. As the flames of rivalry reignite, I raise my hand as if to strike, and they immediately huddle together. Both of you keep them. I declare a shared arrangement. On the way home, they walk beside me, one on each side, just like when they were children. Fu Mingyuan suddenly says, actually, we prepared a joint gift.
Fu Mingchen nods.
Pulling out his phone to play a video of children from orphanages around the world singing a birthday song, ending with the words, thank you for giving us hope. It turns out, all these years, they have been sponsoring orphanages in my name. The comments flood in, filled with emotion. Ah, so heartwarming. The two rascals have grown up. I stand beneath the streetlight, gazing at these two boys I rescued from the orphanage, now standing tall as men. They may still bicker over who receives my favor, but I know that whether it is Fu Mingchen or Fu Mingyuan, they are both my family. Is my sister crying?
Fu Mingchen panics.
Fu Mingyuan fumbles for tissues. Don't cry. We won't fight anymore. I wipe my tears while laughing. Call me mother. The two freeze. Then in unison exclaim, dream on. I embrace one, ruffling their hair, pinching their cheeks, reminding them that an elder sister is like a mother, even if they don't understand. The comments read, ha ha ha, you three living life well is better than anything else. The two big boys lean into my affection, yet none of them pull away. Fu Mingyuan's nose ring brushes against my hand, cool to the touch. An elder sister is like a mother? Fu Mingyuan curled his lips in disdain. Then do enlighten me with your bank card password. Fu Mingchen adjusted his glasses and retorted, sister, don't mind him. I've recently learned some massage techniques. I'll give you a treat when we're back home. Flatterer. Fu Mingyuan shot an elbow in his direction, quick as a flash. I seized both their ears, warning, if you continue this ruckus, I shall send you back to the orphanage. The barrage of comments erupted in laughter. Ha ha ha, it's on. The wealthy lady's ultimate technique. The two instantly fell silent, their towering frames hunched over, resembling two colossal, chastised dogs. Only then did I release my grip, straightening Fu Mingyuan's collar and smoothing Fu Mingchen's tousled hair. Suddenly, Fu Mingchen grasped my wrist, exclaiming, why are your hands so cold?
Fu Mingyuan, overeating.
Promptly shed his leather jacket and wrapped it around me, declaring, old women are just delicate. The jacket, imbued with warmth and a faint scent of tobacco, left me momentarily stunned. The boy who once played Chopin in the practice room has now become someone capable of caring for others. The comments exploded. Ah, Brother Yuan's boyfriend energy. Look at Chinchin's eyes, I'm dead. Fu Mingchen silently removed his cashmere scarf and tied it around my neck, his fingers brushing lightly against my collarbone. Sister, remember to check the weather before you head out. How tedious. Fu Mingyuan rolled his eyes, but nonetheless stuffed my hand into his hoodie pocket for warmth. Strolling down the street with one on each side, I felt akin to a formidable gang leader. The comments read, life's winner, wealthy lady. I'm in awe. Upon returning home, the two quarreled over who would pour me a glass of milk. I took both cups and downed them in one go, declaring, "Now, it's time for a shower and bed."
Together?
Fu Mingyuan grinned mischievously. "Get lost." Both Fu Mingchen and I simultaneously kicked him away. Once they retreated to their respective rooms, I collapsed onto the sofa, massaging my temples. Uncle Lin brought in some hot tea. "Miss, would you like an eye mask?" "Yes," I sighed deeply. Raising sons is far more exhausting than managing a business, especially when raising two competitive adult sons. The comments chimed in. Wealthy ladies humble brag. I'd take a dozen sons like these. Late at night, I ventured into the kitchen for a drink and discovered Fu Mingchen curled up on the sofa, clutching the birthday album he had prepared for me. Gently, I extracted it from his grasp. The front page bore the inscription, "For the best sister in the world." Flipping to the last page, I was taken aback to find a group photo of the three of us, with Fu Mingyuan having doodled a devilish figure of himself in red ink, accompanied by a speech bubble that read, "But the one who loves you the most is me." I couldn't help but chuckle, only to be suddenly embraced from behind. Peeking at someone else's gift? Fu Mingyuan rested his chin on my shoulder, his freshly washed hair still damp. "Why didn't you dry it?" I turned to fetch a towel, but he held me in place. "Sister, it's rare for me to be serious. In truth, we both love you dearly." Moonlight filtered through the sheer curtains, casting dappled shadows across his chiseled features. The once brash youth now looked soft, like a cat retracting its claws. The comments erupted in tears. "Ah. Confession scene, Brother Yuan has made his move." "I know," I tousled his half-dried hair. "Time for bed. Tomorrow we'll enjoy the longevity noodles I'll prepare." Fu Mingchen suddenly stirred awake, clutching a pillow in his arms. I set an alarm for 4 in the morning for the noodles.
Fu Mingyuan immediately exploded.
"With your culinary skills? I could book a Michelin star restaurant instead." I firmly pushed each of them toward the stairs, commanding, "Now immediately go to bed." They stumbled upstairs, still bickering over the morning's menu. Standing at the foot of the stairs, I watched their playful antics, reminiscent of the first time I met them a decade ago. The comments read, "Tears in my eyes. The best trio." Perhaps Fu Mingchen will never learn Fu Mingyuan's defiance, and Fu Mingyuan can never embody Fu Mingchen's elegance. But does it truly matter? My two boys are simply perfect as they are. "Good night, sister." Fu Mingchen called back from the second-floor hallway. Seizing the moment, Fu Mingyuan pushed him into his room. "Sleep well, my dear baby." I shook my head with a smile and turned off the last light.
The end.
Thank you for listening. If you enjoyed this tale, please remember to like and subscribe. Until we meet again in our next story.